Hey guys, finishing getting set up here. We're going to have Kayla with us very shortly. I was just told to watch, so I was watching. She was trying to be secretive about it, but I don't care. She looked at me and told me to watch. It was weird.
I showed him how to add stuff.
So anyways, welcome to Talking Scared. Again, we're going to have Kayla with us here very shortly. While we're waiting for her to come through, a couple little updates, a few little things like that. Some good news and some a little sad news, but you know, it is what it is. So updated as far as the likes and followers, we are hitting into the 2,700 realm, which is very cool. We thank you all so much, from the absolute bottoms to the middle to the top of our hearts, just all of our heart space, all of it, the vessels around the heart, the blood and stuff that's going through it, just all of it. Just all of it. We thank you very much. You guys are fantastic. And we love you for it so much, for supporting these people and what they do, and giving them the opportunity to talk about their craft and talk about their careers a little bit, and also for supporting us in doing this. We can't even begin to thank you enough. So again, thank you. 2,700 likes and follows. Keeps on climbing. So thank you very much. We will be recording our reviews for Castle Blood and Wells Township Haunted House as soon as we are done here this evening. Very excited to do both of those. Wells Township was an absolute blast. Castle Blood was an absolute blast. And we are very excited to be able to bring those reviews to you. Sorry, I'm trying to get her on here. There we are. Right now. Now, again, while she's being added, we got those two reviews that we're going to be doing very shortly. We're going to be recording those tonight. Goes out to you. Kayla, how are you?
Hi, how are you guys?
Very good. So this is Kayla. She is from Fallsburg Fearplex. And we are going to be jumping into the interview with her very shortly. She's going to have to hang tight and just look pretty and smile for a second. We got just a couple more things to go over. That was the quickest and smoothest start to this we've ever had. So thank you for being ready, prepared. She was ready to roll with this. So that's cool. So education in horror. We're getting rid of it a little bit, kind of. It's going to kind of take a back seat. The serial killers on Fridays have been very popular. Obviously, the haunted house reviews is what we're here to do anyways, and everybody seems to really like Talking Scared as well. And an education in horror takes a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of research and stuff like that, and it's just not producing enough. It doesn't seem to be enough interest in it for us to continue to do it. So we're going to drop an education in horror, but what we're going to do in place of that is we're hoping here in about a month or so to take Talking Scared to be a weekly broadcast instead of bi-weekly like it is right now. And we're also going to be looking at incorporating more authors, more movie directors. We've got some costume designers that we're talking to right now, trying to expand this to all types of different genres, not just actors and actresses, although that'll always be the main crux of it and the main focus of it. But we're looking at expanding that to a weekly thing, and then doing a Killer Friday as well. Everything like that, like we've been doing with the serial killers. Those have been very popular. We're going to keep rolling with that. And we will have an education in horror from time to time, but it's going to be different. We're going to be doing a little bit, I know we said we weren't going to, but we're going to do a little bit more of the paranormal investigating and going to some different places live, talking about the history of those places and doing a broadcast from up there. And that's going to be the only real semblance of an education in horror that'll be left. We are still going to do Clinton Road and the Devil's Tree. We're going to be recording that one shortly, and that'll be the last quote-unquote education in horror episode for quite a while. We want to focus on this. We want to focus on the haunted house reviews. We want to focus on what's getting the good responses. And these are the three things that's doing it. So education in horror, you're out. We'll see you later. We got one more that we're going to drop, but that's going to be the last one. Enough of that bullshit. We're here to talk to you, Kayla. So number one, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good. Very excited to be able to do this with you. Kayla was a line actor at Fallsburg Fearplex the particular night we were there. Did a very good job with her character. So Kayla, tell us a little bit about yourself and your involvement with Fallsburg Fearplex.
Well, I'm in the off season. I'm a 28-year-old stay-at-home mom. I've worked for Fallsburg for about 5 years now. I started out marketing tickets and doing makeup, and it just kind of evolved, and I ended up working the queue lines.
Cool. Cool, cool. So now you were talking about when you were younger, that your parents would have different decorations out for the yard for the trick-or-treaters and stuff like that, and that you would like to kind of hang out amongst the decor and scare people as they were coming up to collect the candy and stuff like that. So, what exactly were you doing as a kid out there trying to creep everybody out while they're just trying to get some candy?
I think it's actually at my aunt's house. I think it started when I outgrew trick or treating, but I was still in this age where I still want to be involved in Halloween in some way. And so I started going over there and just creeping people out, and people would be like, "Oh, here's my baby. Take a picture with my kid." And I'd be like, "Oh, okay."
Okay.
So that's kind of where I got the taste of scare acting from, was that's what sparked this.
Okay, very cool. That's such a cool thing. I'd love to see my kids out there one day doing stuff like that, just scaring people and stuff. That's so cool. Did you see yourself becoming a haunt actor as a kid? Like, was it something you were always kind of looking at? Man, that's something I'd like to do in the future. Or did it just kind of happen one day?
It's something I kind of always wanted to do, but the jobs that I had, early on really kind of didn't allow me to do that. So that was something that came later on, that I was able to step out and say, okay, I'm ready to do this now. I'm just ready to, let's go. And took off, and here I am.
Cool. So you said you did a little bit of makeup and costume design. Tell us a little bit about that. What was that like?
I started out, they hired me in. When they hired me in, they hired me in for makeup. They hired me in for makeup, and then, marking wristbands at the beginning of Crazy Creek. I really didn't touch too much on costume design, that much. I mean, I did like a small portion of it, but not anything extensive. But it was, like I said, I got hired in to do the makeup, and that's what I did. And it was, you had a whole group of people, because I was doing Creek and Corn makeup, and there was, a couple other people that worked with me doing this. But you just had to like bust them out like super quick, because with that amount of people, you had to just go, boom, done. You're done. Let's go. Bring me somebody else. Come on, let's go. So that was kind of how it was. It was very fast paced doing makeup.
How long on average would it take you to get, I'm sure it ranges a little bit as far as how detailed it was, but about on average, how long do you think it would take you to get somebody from walking in out of their car to ready to go and jump in the haunt?
I would say probably about each person, probably about max 10 minutes.
Damn.
If yeah, you had to be super quick. But they
That's
always
crazy.
kind of wanted their makeup kind of super minimum, because especially with the Creek and the Corn, because that's where I started doing makeup at, was Creek and Corn. And they're out in the elements a little bit. So
Yes.
they're hot, and they're sweating stuff off. So what you're putting on really isn't going to last till the
Okay.
end of the night anyway.
All right. That makes sense. Um, so a little bit of an interesting story with how you became a haunt actor, how that transition finally happened. Do you care to share that story a little bit as to how all that came to be?
Yeah, that's fine. I'd always went to Fallsburg with a friend of mine who she passed away in 2013, and as kind of a way of keeping like that alive, and kind of still feeling like I'm doing something with her, because the last place that she actually went, and I didn't get to go with her that night, was the Fallsburg Fearplex, and she had passed away the next morning.
Mm.
So it was kind of like, this is something I need to do now. I need to start doing this, and it kind of helped me to cope with her loss in a way. Um, and that's kind of how that got started. And like I said, I started out doing like tickets and makeup and stuff. And there was a building at the beginning of the creek. If you went through the haunt this year, it was the building that said junkyard at the top of the building. That was where I'd started taking tickets. And if you remember at the new house this year, when you was in the line and you went into the new house, they would put you in chutes.
Yes.
You'd be inside and in the chutes. That's kind of how that building was. It was designed that way. So they would come in, and I would mark their ticket. I'd mark their little wristband, and I'd send them down a chute. Okay, and then there was another lady in there with me, and she would send them on out into the attraction. But it kind of felt like, you know, it was kind of like a dead space in a way to me. And I was like, man, you know, I want to do something here. So I took it on my own, actually, to just start, you know, messing with these people a little bit. And there was another haunt review team that had came in and done a review on our haunt, and they actually mentioned me in their haunt review. And here I am, somebody that's really not supposed to be scare acting at the time. I was meant to just be marking tickets, and that was it. And I got mentioned in a review like my first year, and I wasn't even technically supposed to be scare acting. So that's kind of how that got started. And then, you know, later on in the season, somebody got sick. And my boss on the creek, Chris, he came to me and he's like, hey, we're throwing you out tonight. So I had like 5 minutes. I had like 5 minutes to be like, oh, okay. And so he threw me out there. I done it. And by the end of the night, he looks at me and he's like, you're not taking tickets anymore. I was like, okay. That's what I wanted all along, was really a scare act anyway. So
Cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I love the passion that you have for it, to just take that initiative and see kind of, again, a dead space. And dead spaces are very, very noticeable, especially in these things. You go from high adrenaline to then just kind of standing there and just waiting and chilling. You can lose yourself in that moment there. And to have somebody step up and just handle it like that, that's cool. It's very cool. So if you've watched any of our haunt reviews, the entire experience starts first and foremost in the lines. Line interaction is huge for us. The experience you have in the line is huge for us. It's a big part of the attraction. Sometimes, really honestly, in a lot of these things, you'll spend more time in the line at times than you will inside the attraction. So that's got to count for something. And I absolutely loved the job that you did the night we were there. You had the little demon baby going on. This is very, very cool. Very, very creepy little setup. And if you haven't been to Fallsburg Fearplex and you haven't specifically seen Kayla and specifically seen her demon baby, she's just kind of walking around very nonchalant, really. At first, I almost overlooked her the first time because she's just kind of meandering through. And then you kind of notice, okay, well, she's the only one walking around with a hood on, so clearly there's something going on there. And then she just every once in a while let out this horrific scream that we're going to try and get her to do a little later on. We're not quite at the scream point yet, but we're going to try and get it out of her tonight. We'll see. But as far as that character itself, is that a character you came up with on your own, or is it something that you kind of helped create?
that is Ginger. And pretty much the way that I view Ginger is every role that I've ever done is an extension of Ginger.
Okay.
Ginger started when I started doing the tickets. That's when Ginger started. And every role that I've ever done, it's almost like somebody with multiple personality disorder. That's how I view Ginger, because last year I went, you know, Q-line acting. I worked some in blackout. I worked some in 3D. And so for me to kind of make sense of, you know, carrying this on, it's easier to think, okay, I'm playing somebody with multiple personality. And so that's kind of how I view like all Ginger's roles is multiple personality roles. So, you know, in the Q line, I could be like incredibly over the top angry Ginger that does the screams and all that, to 5-year-old little girl Ginger that really kind of freaks people out when you can go from one extreme to the other.
Yes. Yes, and it's done very well. Walking around asking people to hold your baby.
Yeah.
So how much creative freedom does Fallsburg's give you as far as the actors? Is there a good bit that you're kind of allowed to just play with yourself, or is it kind of a strict script?
It's definitely not a strict script. They will give you like an idea of, hey, I would really like to see you do this in this area. This is what I kind of want you to do. And then it's kind of up to you, like how you do your backstory, how you build your character, you know, and just kind of make it flow with how you would do it, but also taking into consideration how, you know, they kind of set everything up, how they wanted you to portray this particular character. But they do give you like a lot of freedom to kind of input your own kind of personality in it.
Cool. Cool. So I have this question. I feel like I already know the answer to this question, but we'll ask it anyways. What's been your favorite character to play so far? I'm going to take a wild stab at Ginger.
Yeah, yeah, it's Ginger. Um,
Cool.
but I think my favorite role as Ginger would have to be Q-line acting. I absolutely love the improv side of
Yeah.
everything, where you
Yes.
never know what somebody's going to say, and so
Mhm.
you've got to be ready to go. You know, you've got to just throw it out there as Ginger and just go with it. That's my favorite um, style of acting. I mean, I could do pop scares and stuff like that too, but I really like the one-on-one interaction that I get with the customers as well.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So again, kind of almost answering the question before we're getting into it. But so with line acting, like we're talking about, it's a totally different ballpark of scare. You have to be, just like she said, in the moment with every opportunity. Now you said that you like doing it more. Do you find it easier to get the scares in the line, or is it easier to do the pop scares inside the haunt itself?
I think it's, for me personally, I think it's easier to do the Q line acting
Okay.
because I'm always wanting to keep that person there with me a little bit longer. For just
Yes.
for a minute, that person's mine,
Yes.
and I can kind of, you know, control them for just a small minute, and I enjoy that aspect of it.
Absolutely. That's very cool. So with these, I've seen them walking around. I'm sure you've dealt with many of them. The guy or gal that's just too macho to be there, too cool to be scared. This is all beneath them and below them. How do you deal with those people? Well, you got any tricks for them? Any little special surprises in store for them?
I would, you know, I had the advantage of working in the queue line, so I could kind of, you know, watch these people and kind of pick those people out easier versus being in like the actual haunt. And so I would see them and it would be like, how, you know, I know that this person is the macho guy. And so I would, you know, kind of go up to them and I would maybe scare somebody in their group. And then I'd just walk over to them and be like, so when are we getting married? And just that interaction alone, just that kind of thing alone, just threw them off. And I'd like put my arm around them and be like, so when are we getting married? This is your baby. Are you going to pay child support on it? And they'd be like, whoa, you know, no, no. So, I mean, that alone just kind of messed with them a little bit. And I don't feel like as a scare actor, like my main goal is obviously to scare people. But I feel like I'm also an entertainer as well.
Yes.
So it's more of how can I entertain this group of people versus I just want to go in hardcore and get the scares. I mean, you know, that to me is, you know, equally as important as scaring somebody.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, all right. So you sent us the clip of the death scream. Um, I'm hoping that the kids are still awake. Or are we going to get the death scream, or is the death scream going to be put on hold?
I wished that I could do the death scream for you tonight. I really
I
wish that I
understand.
could.
I
But let me
understand.
tell you something. I got a 2-year-old in there asleep right now, and that is literally scarier than anything I could do if I woke him up right now.
Yeah, no, I get it. We have a 1-year-old and a not 1-year-old working to get to one, so we understand completely. We don't want ours to wake up either. They have some death screams of their own. That's very
Yeah.
Um, but if it's all right with you, we'll post that video of that death scream in the comments. That way people can get a look at it that way as well. Very cool. So we've noticed over the past few years in the haunt community, the walkthrough hunt is always, I believe, going to be the center focus of haunted attractions. Everything will focus around that. goes through that, that is what haunted attractions always are. But there is no denying that immersive theater and immersive haunts are growing and growing quickly. What are number one? What is your feeling on the immersive haunt and the immersive haunt community and kind of just that genre in general?
I kind of always felt like that horror movies and haunts kind of correlate. They go kind of hand in hand.
Yep.
And if you think about it, 45 years ago, when the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out, okay, it was banned in certain countries. And, you know, in the United States, it was pulled out of some theaters. Like, it was legit. And that was considered, like, too violent back then.
Yep.
And so you know how far, like, horror movies has progressed since then.
Yes.
So in my mind, it's like, okay, we've got to branch out and kind of cater to these people that has grown up with haunts, that's grown up with, you know, Freddy and Jason and all that stuff. It's still scary, but at what point to some certain group of audiences they become jaded to that? So I feel like, you know, that loosely it's all connected, and you've got to kind of grow with everything else. And so I think that I mean, like you said, traditional haunts is probably, they're never going to go anywhere. You know, that's a family thing, that's a family outing, that's great, that's what you need. But there's this other realm of people that is tired of watching the victim. They don't want to watch the victim, they want to be the victim.
Yeah.
And so I think that's, you know, I think that's needed now, because I feel like everybody's just kind of got jaded to the whole, you know, killer walking around with a machete type deal. You know.
That's a good answer to that. We're obviously we're very much those people. I love the immersive theater and immersive haunts. It's really becoming more prevalent for us. Specifically, we love the walkthroughs, and that's always going to be the center focus of everything, just like you said. Even though we're not the easiest group to scare, we still love the experience in and of itself. It's just so much fun to go through them. You know, but we just did Shock Theater, and it's such a different experience, and it's so cool. We're going to be going to Shock Theater again. We're going to Stag, and I'm not going to lie, I'm a little nervous about Stag. It's pretty intense. I've even heard rumors, and I'm not trying to pry anything out of you, but we've even heard rumors that Fallsburg Fearplex itself might in the future at some point in time maybe have a little immersive experience of their own. Is there any truth to that? Are you allowed to say if there's any truth to that?
I don't know whether I'm allowed to actually say that or not. I will say that I've heard that as well. So, but I'm not saying one way or the other.
I got you. Very cool. Very cool. Have you done?
I got a question.
All right, go ahead. Trish has a question.
Okay.
So the dude that we talked to the night that we was there, that was hanging around the ticket booth, was that the owner?
She doesn't know who we were talking to that night. She wasn't.
I know, but if he consistently does things like that.
So does the owner usually hang out around the end of the tour, kind of at that the little gift area? Is that a spot that he kind of likes to hang out and mingle around with at all, or?
Sometimes, but I think you probably talked to Ken. I think that's who you probably talked to that night. Okay.
All right. Have you ever done an immersive haunt or experienced one like that?
No. And I'll tell you, I would be very interested in doing it. I really would be. Except I think I could do it all except when they tried to like feed me something. If anybody tried to feed me something, because listen, my phobia is vomit. Me specifically, vomiting. So that would be my white flag right there. I'd be like, nope, sorry, can't do it, because I will have a panic attack on you because I just puked. Out of everything else I do, that's my thing.
So we've been fed a few different things. I've only had one that really kind of got to me. They were making it seem like we were doing communion. I don't want to say where we were because I don't want to give their stuff away. But they were making it seem like we were doing this weird communion. And the guy walks into the bathroom, and you hear the sound of what sounds like him urinating into a cup. And then he comes back around with this cup, and it's got these weird chunks in it, and he makes you drink it. And the taste wasn't horrible. I could deal with the chunks. It just left this film over the inside of your mouth, and it just didn't go away the entire haunt experience. It was the only one that's ever really kind of.
See, you are a stronger person than I am, because let me tell you, no, I would have puked, and I'd been like, okay, I'm done. Here's my flag. Let me out.
No, can't be waving flags. So we also do a little touch of paranormal, like we were talking about in the announcements. That's going to be becoming a little more prevalent. Do you have any paranormal experiences that you've had at Fallsburg Fearplex? Does it have a reputation of actually being haunted itself? It seems like a lot of these complexes seem to have some story that goes with the complex itself actually being genuinely haunted. Anything like that at Fallsburg?
Well, the original haunted house, the 2-story original haunted house, was actually an Oddfellow lodge back in the day, so it has quite a bit of history to it. Okay. I personally have never had any kind of experience there, but I do know several people that have. So I'm not going to say that there's nothing going on there, because these are people that probably wouldn't be making this stuff up to just pull your leg. Like, I really legitimately think that there probably may be something there. I just never experienced it myself.
Okay. Will you be at Fallsburg this year?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll probably be 80 years old in a wheelchair going after people with my cane. Like, I'll do this for as long as I'm physically able to.
Cool. We're very excited. We're not going to be we won't be doing the review of Fallsburg because we already did one last year, but we are coming back this year. And it's going to be kind of cool because when we go to these things, a lot of times we're going and we're look at this, look at that, check this out, take a note on this, and you don't always necessarily get to just relax and experience it. We're going to be taking essentially our stepdaughter on her first experience through a haunted house. And that's where we've chosen to take them is take hers to go to Fallsburg Fearplex. So it'll be her first time going through anything like that. And it's just going to be a cool experience just to go there and be able to just kind of relax and, hang out. Hopefully see you if you're wherever you might be.
I hope so.
We'll let you know when we're coming down for sure. And we're going to be wrapping it up here in just a second. But we always like to let our guests kind of have the floor, opportunity to promote themselves, promote the organization they work for, and just have a moment to say whatever the hell they might like to say. So I'm going to open the floor up to you. You've got it for the next few minutes. Take off with it, whatever you'd like to say.
Well, first of all, I'd like to talk about, my haunt, because, it is, I have such a personal kind of connection to Fallsburg, even, like I said, even before actually starting there. But they, they're an amazing bunch of people to work with. I absolutely love them all. But there's 5 attractions in it, and it's massive. It's massive. Yeah. Because you've got Blackout, you've got 3D, you've got the new house, you've got Crazy Creek and the Junkyard. And I mean, all the people, the work that goes into that, and that's what people don't realize, I think, is the amount of work that goes into this, because they literally start working on everything about a month after, the season's over. They start planning for the next year. So, I mean, it's a big thing, and I don't think a lot of people realize that, even in scare acting. Like, there's so much more to it. Like, people come in and they're like, oh, this is a cake job. I could do this. It's no big deal. I mean, you've really got to be into what you're doing to pull off what you're doing, to make it seem realistic, to give that extra bit of oomph behind what you're doing. But I think that's like, the biggest thing is people really just don't realize that. And there's just like a lot of like character details that you got to work out, a lot of sets that they've got to work out. There's so much involved with it. And then, I feel like people that are in the haunt community they get kind of like this bad rep for being in the haunt community.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, these are people, like some of the people I work with every year are like cake decorators, bank tellers, you know, dental assistants. They're people that you come into contact with in your day-to-day life every day and you don't even realize it. So, I mean, it's a big, like, happy family, kind of, in a way, a big, happy, creepy family. But it's, you know, it's definitely an experience. I have a friend who always tells me to be your best you. And I think that I always wanted to do this, and like I let things in my life kind of hold me back from doing it. But I wish I'd done it so much sooner. I really do. Like, I wish that I would have just, you know, done this and said, this is what I'm doing, and just done it so much sooner, because yes, it's a lot of hard work. And there is times that I pull into my driveway at home on a Friday or Saturday night and I'm like struggling to get out of my car. Like, I'm little old granny trying to get out of my car. But it's worth it. It's worth it. It's addicting. Scare acting is unlike any other acting that I've ever done. And it is absolutely 100% totally worth it.
Very cool. Very cool. And when she's talking about some of the preparation and stuff, Crazy Creek, you've heard that name thrown around several times tonight. Just the preparation of going through and having to just gather that amount of cars to begin with, let alone getting them there, and then the setup that they do with them and everything else. It's crazy the amount of work that goes into this. Don't ever underestimate what you're looking at. None of these, even the worst. I mean, we've bashed Scareview a little bit, but even there's clearly time and stuff that's put into that work and everything like that. So from the very, very bottom to the very, very top, these are not easy things. They just don't happen overnight at all. A lot of hard work goes into these, and it really, really shows at Fallsburg. We tremendously enjoyed our time going there. Fantastic. We can't wait to see you guys again this year, and to be able just to chill and enjoy one will be really cool for us as well. We'll let you know when we're going to be up there, and if you ever get that inkling that you decide that you want to go ahead and you're going to go ahead and eat something, and you're just going to be okay with it, you want to go, we're here. We'll go with you whenever you want to go.
Okay.
You just let us know.
If you all promise that you'll go with me, I might think about it.
We'll be there. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. This is what we do, Kayla. This is what we do. We talk to people like you. We go to these haunted places. We get into some stuff we probably shouldn't get into too awfully much, and that's it. And we have fun with it. So that's going to be wrapping it up. Kayla, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us this evening. You are an amazing, amazing person. Also, I'm being told right now, because I keep forgetting, we do have a link on our Facebook page where you or any other actors or actresses that are watching right now, you can select an appointment time, and we will get back with you as to whether or not that appointment time will work and how this works and everything like that. It's actually a very simple process. There's no traveling involved. We didn't beat Kayla up or anything like that, or make her do it or anything like that. Completely volunteer basis. Nobody's putting a gun to the back of her head and making her do this or anything like that. So come hang out with us. Come have some fun with us. We got that link on our page. Always, always, always. Kayla, again, thank you so much. We absolutely love you. You have a wonderful evening. And to everyone else, good night. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.